let me start off now. We want to figure out what Shahid the person is like. What was your childhood like, considering both your parents are, kind of from the film industry? They were both actors, both related to the film industry.
Well, I was born in Delhi, so I didn't really have too much exposure to films for quite a while. So I stayed with my grandparents till I was 10, with my mom and my grandparents. My father had shifted to Bombay. I shifted here when I was about 10. I was a little all over the place because, coming from Delhi, settling into a different city, into a different culture. I went into this class which was, where all the kids had been kind of together from junior KG, and I was the only outsider who kind of came into the class in the 5th.
Oh God, so you had to fit in.
Yeah, I was treated like crap for a couple of years. Then finally there was
You were bullied?
Absolutely, completely. I was not bullied, I was like, dude, we don't know this guy. It was almost like that. But then there were these 2-3 other kids who came in from there was this one boy called Heather, who became really good friends with me actually, who had come in from I think Dubai or no, Kuwait. He had come in from Kuwait, and so the 2 or 3 outsiders in the class became friends and finally made a little group for ourselves. College was fun. I had a lot of fun in college. I studied a little bit, honestly, not too much.
Were you good at studies?
Sorry?
Were you good at studies?
When I applied myself, which I didn't really do very often.
Like, what were your average grades like?
Average grades were average. Averagely, I would score like 55-60%. But like when I studied hard in my 10th, I got, I think, 82% or something like that. But yeah, so that was only when I would really apply myself. So yeah, college was fun. I was in Mithibai. I actually had the most fun in my life in those 2 or 3 years because I was also with Shamak and his dance school at the same time. So it's that typical teenage space in life.
That was my next question actually. When did dancing and Shamak happen?
It happened randomly. There's this thing called Summer Funk which happens every year with Shamak in the summer holidays, and I just joined in because I love dancing and I wanted to learn a little bit, and I just joined in, and then he took me into his troupe because he thought I was good. And and I started dancing with him, and I was making money, and I was having fun. I was doing what I love, doing my college simultaneously. So I guess my childhood has been it's been mixed. I've stayed with my grandparents, had a very protected life in Delhi, come to Bombay, had to kind of adjust to this whole new atmosphere, get a lot more independent. Then I understood what it is to be professional. For the first time when I was with Shamak. Randomly got an ad, it just happened to fall into my lap, honestly. I wasn't there for
the Pepsi ad.
Yes, there was a friend of mine who was there for the audition, and they just asked me to give it, and I gave it. I didn't even know what I was auditioning for. And 3 days later they called me and said that, you're on and you're doing this ad with Shah Rukh and Rani and Kajol, and so it was like this huge pay. I was like, okay, fine, great, fantastic.
It's so funny, today you're doing films with them and Rani at least.
Yes, I mean, I told her that and she was laughing about it. I was like, I was that guy who didn't know what to do in front of the camera when you were this huge star, and today we were working together, and we've laughed about that a few times. So yeah, I guess I've been really fortunate. You can say I've been, God has been really kind to me.
You've been a dancer in the background also for a few films. Do you ever go and pick up those DVDs and kind of laugh about it, go like, oh, that's me there dancing behind Aishwarya?
It's there on television on and off all the time. I've seen it quite a few times, and yeah, it's fun. It's fun looking back.
Not embarrassing at all?
No, not really. I mean, I think I look terrible. But apart from that, I'm used to it.
Okay, so how much of a say, do your parents have probably in the roles that you pick, especially your father? What I read somewhere recently was when your father's on set, it takes you a lot of retakes to get it right because you're so conscious of him being around.
Yeah, he was on set actually just once when we were doing something for Jab We Met, and I just got really nervous, and I had to go up to him and say, Dad, why don't you just go up and start lunch? We're breaking after this shot, and I'll just see you in 5 minutes. And then he left and I got it right immediately. So yeah, I get a little nervous around him,
Okay, also let me ask you, what is Shahid Kapoor like when he's not shooting? And we don't want any diplomatic answers like we read books and just listen to music. Like, what do you do?
Don't people do that? Usually, is that supposed to be diplomatic?
But that's also the very cliche answer.
No, I mean, honestly, I don't get too much of that time. When I do get time, what am I doing? I'm watching movies, honestly. I'm spending time with family. I'm going out for dinners. Yeah, I club once in a long while actually. Maybe once in a couple of months I'd go out clubbing. It would happen more often at a friend's place than at a club really, where we'd kind of dance and have fun and stuff. Apart from that, yeah, I'd spend time with friends and maybe take my dog for a walk once in a while, go on my bike for a ride. I love working out, so I'd be working out, sure, yeah.
So like you said, you go out once in a rare blue moon, but are there any filmy friends or all very non-filmy friends?
Very few filmy friends actually. In fact, I have very few friends. I probably have just 3 or 4 friends.
So who would they be like in Bollywood?
In Bollywood, I think Ahmed is really my only true friend. Ahmed Khan, the choreographer.
You two have had a very long association,
Yes,
right?
yes, we've known each other for almost 15 years now. Yeah.
How come?
Just family. Our families knew each other, and so we knew each other. To me, friend is not somebody who you hang with once in a month and say, hey, what's up, man? How's it going? Okay, I'll see you later. That's not a friend really for me. That's somebody who's an acquaintance. Friends are people who who are a call away for you, and because I guess I've had I was born in Delhi. I came to Bombay. I lived in rented houses.
You were the kid who didn't fit in.
I was the kid who didn't fit in. So I don't really have too many people who I know. And I've always been, because I always lived in rented houses till 3 years back. So every 11 months I'd shift. So I never really had the opportunity to make friends in the long term. Unfortunately, that's how it was. Even with Shamak, I mean, I had a lot of friends when I was with him, and now, I'm doing my thing and they're doing their thing, and it becomes difficult to stay in touch. But yeah, I have 2 or 3 friends who I can really count on, and they're always there for me. And I think I'm very fortunate to have even 2 or 3 true friends. I think there may be so many people that you know, but you probably just have, even if you have 2 or even 1 person who you can actually truly tell everything, I think you're very fortunate.
We've also read that you have this passion for bikes and that you like going out for late night rides on your bike.
Well, the only time that one can really take the bike out is during nights, but yes. But that doesn't
You mean
happen.
the only time you can take it without getting mobbed?
No, I wear a helmet here. I mean, people don't really recognize you once you're with the helmet. But it's just too much traffic, It just doesn't make sense. You have a 1700cc bike and then you're going at 30 kilometers an hour. It's pretty boring. So yeah, I guess the only time to take it out is at night, which I do sometimes, not very often. But I love riding. I like taking the bike out. It gives me a sense of freedom.
Photography?
Yes, I've just started. I've always been very curious about photography, always wanting to do it. I have a good friend, Atul Kasbekar, who's a fantastic photographer. We all know him.
We all know that.
And he helped me buy this camera and he got me onto it. And I've just started.
So what are you shooting
pretty much
then? I mean,
anything and everything. Anything. Usually on the sets because that's where I get time between shots. But yeah, I just shoot anything I like. पानी पानी है बस तुम और हम You're taking me for face value. You're believing what I'm saying.
you want me to believe, you don't want me to?
I'm just asking you a question.
I don't know. I have to believe
It's
you,
up
right?
to you.